Alright, welcome to another episode of Night in the Woods. The last episode was short, but I feel like if I didn't cut it off there and just start another episode, then the episode would end up being way too long because that just seemed like a natural break. Okay, let's check our internet. Who's texting me? Who wants to be friends with the Maester? I'm the Maester. Away message. Annual harvest play tonight at the Old Pickaxe. Come out and see the haunted history of Possum Springs. Ooh, that's gonna be a nice scene. I look forward to that. Even though I'm kind of on the downswing of May right now. Happy Halloween, dude. Get spooked or something? What? Ghostly Gourd, world's largest pumpkin. Brock, conduit to the dead. And how's Mr. Sharkle doing? I don't like it. It scares me with fear. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on out of our bedroom and let's check the attic. Ooh, it's Halloween and we're getting into the closet. Let's get... oh, hang on. I've definitely grown quite a bit since then. I don't think so. A little bit taller. Range is a bit wider. Granddad said I was sturdy. Screw it. I am sturdy. Okay. Let's check the closet. Dad, you did it. Thank you so much. Now I can get into the crawl space. Whoa. What? Cans. Ooh, and a safe? This is where we're going to survive the apocalypse. The apocalypse, which is when all of the bunnies reproduce so much that they take over the entire world. Oh wait, I know how to open this. Left 45, right 100, left 22, left 90, right 15. Yeah, we found that in the book, so now we can get into that. Aha, it's opening. I did actually write it down because I thought it might not. What the hell? It's an old tooth? Yeah, that's a tooth. Granddad put a tooth in a safe in the basement? Well, never know when you need an extra tooth. You and me, tooth. We're gonna go far. I'll take it. We got a tooth. Mysterious tooth. Ah, filling up on all of our pages. Ah, we don't even have any empty pages anymore. So far. Oh no, we got a couple more, but we filled them in at random. I always work from the back of the book because I'm right left-handed. I got a coil right here in front of me, coil notebook, that I write all my notes in. I have to work backwards. Alright. Oh, no, hang on. I want to say hello to our bird, whose name is Dinner. Hey, trash bird. That's mean. Let's stare wistfully out of the sunny window. Actually, that would be really painful to look out of. Especially right now, because I got a headache. Ah, the boxes. What is in the boxes, I wonder. Eh. Oh, I can get by them here just fine. You know, she's like, oh, you gotta move the boxes, Dad. I can't do anything. Even though, like, come on, they're just boxes. Climb over them. Like, what's the problem? Also, my reward for that was a tooth. Life is full of surprises. Ain't that the tooth? Alright. You can click off the video now. That was the height of anything I'm ever going to accomplish in my life. So basically you just got the peak comedy from Dexter right here. You can just go off the video. It doesn't matter anymore. Speaking of which, am I recording still? Yeah. 4 minutes into this episode and you've hit the peak. This is all downhill. Hey Mom. You okay? What's wrong? Nothing's wrong, dear. Just got a bit of a fireball in my head. My throat. You're lying. You're lying. So, honey, do you feel like talking about school yet? Okay. I am curious. So, what's the story? I just felt like it wasn't where I should be. Where you should be? What does that even mean? Ugh, never mind. You'll never get me. Let's talk about this later. Any idea when you might want to do that? Because honey, I'm all ears. I really am dying to find out. Why you decided to up and abandon all the plans we'd made as a family. Jeez, Mom. Where's this coming from? You know you're the first Borowski to go to college. Yeah, I know, Mom. I only heard that since I was like 6. Well, honey, we'd be planning for it since you were born. Spent a good 18 years and got into all kinds of trouble. Just for you to decide you'd rather be here. Might as well have taken all that effort and money and worry and dumped it in a hole. Are you having like one of your mood swings again? Oh, I'm the moody one in this house. You are the moody one in this house. Well, enjoy this house while we still have it. What? What's happening to the house? Maybe it just isn't where we should be. Mom, this isn't funny. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about anything. Why start now? Go off and do whatever it is you do. You know what? Maybe if I had more examples of, you know, getting out and making something of myself. No. No. You do not get to. Maybe you wanted me to get out of here because you never got around to doing it yourself. Maybe I'm just the most recent failure in the line of failures that is our family. I'm leaving now. Well, we're gonna go see a play though. So that's nice. There's some construction. There's some stuff that I could say about what just happened, but I think I'll leave it to you. I mean, I always do that. I guess I could talk about it. But I'd rather just explore. I mean, is that the church up there? I can see some stuff up there. I can't tell. What is that in the background? Steps and stuff. Anyway. I mean, that's the thing. It's sort of generational sort of sense. Generational because I think that society itself is largely still feeling the echoes of the old feudal systems that we lived under. And we often have a sort of generational family understanding of, you know, acquiring wealth and bettering the next generation within a family to rise up the class structure. So they're hoping that she will get out of the working class in the sense of like selling labor and be able to sell like a higher form of labor through education and be able to better her life that way with sort of money and material goods. And the thing is that they put all their effort into that their entire working lives, and now their child has decided, you know, that wasn't for them, all of that. So you can definitely see the sense that, you know, they put all that effort into helping her to escape the working class lifestyle of, you know, just, you know, getting by, being in a lot of debt. You know, they put all that effort into making sure that the next generation was better, and now it just seems like that's kind of like a waste. Like, what did they do with their lives? They worked so hard to better their child's life, you know, and then, you know, what was it for? You know, now they're older, they have to worry about their health, so they want her to succeed. And, you know, you've got that pressure on you to sort of escape the working class. And she doesn't like that pressure, doesn't want to. I gotta figure out more about May, because I don't know what happened at college or why she doesn't want to be there. You know, is it just mental issues? Did something happen? I'm really curious about, I can't understand. I've been very curious about why May left college, because I can't understand her character without understanding that. So far that information has been hidden from me. And I'd like to know so that I can understand May, because she seems sort of aimless in a way. It's like, is it the pressure? Is it mental? Just a mental block? Why is it that she doesn't want to go to college? Does she not want that lifestyle? Because the alternative, you know, being working class and having no education, I mean, she's not in debt because her parents paid for it, but having no education and not being able to escape like the blue collar class, you know, and not being able to go into the sort of white collar, selling a different kind of labor that's more expensive because it's related to education and human capital. That's something that's confusing me a bit here with May's character. I can't really talk about that yet, I realize now. I was trying to, but I can't understand what May's doing. I mean, I understand the difficulty of it, but I mean, the difficulty of it pays off better. But then again, yeah, there is that whole sense of generational betterment. I'd have to think a little bit more about it. I need to know more about May and her reasons for not going to college, because I'm kind of in the parents' position where, like, you should really be going to college because it will make your life better, and if you just give up on that because it's hard or whatever, like, I don't understand May. Just like her parents, I don't understand May and why she doesn't want to. You know, oh, it just didn't work out, you know. Not resentful of May, obviously, or anything, but I need, you know, I don't understand her. Whoa, decorations. And now she's just gonna go on like normal. She's kind of like covering it up. She's not curious. I mean, she's not being introspective or anything, I suppose. Maybe not. I don't know. I just don't know what happened in college. That guy's high in the car. Anyway. Whoa, decorations. I need to know more about May. And then I can comment more. Normally I like to like withhold my judgment of things until after, like, I've been through the whole thing, and then you can sort of understand, you know, backwards a bit. Girl, you can't mess around on Halloween. Jeez. Want to hear no poem? Yes, I do. Always. Bats and moon against the gloom. The night is black. I made a snack. Cool. I microwaved. Pizza I'd saved. Though pizza cold is breakfast gold. That's so true. Really happened. I could tell it really happened. Big Halloween fan here. Yeah, me too, obviously. You gonna Harfest? May has never done her laundry. She's been wearing that same shirt for like at least a week. Nah, staying here for the trick-or-treaters. You are a saint. A saint and a scholar. Harfest is dumb. Really? I love it. I mean, are you 8 years old? Kinda. No, I'm not. Hey. Does she not want to go to college because she wants to sort of prolong her child years? I can't relate to that. I never wanted to be a child. I've become, after that interaction, I'm way more curious about May. Because the whole time I've been waiting to like find out what happened at college. Don't touch my pumpkin. I wasn't planning on touching your pumpkin. Unless that's a euphemism for something. Oh, I wanted to hop up on the thingies. Because her family's working class and struggling, and they want to have a better life for their children, which I totally understand, but she's not complicit in that sort of generational betterment scheme. I mean, I can't imagine wanting to be working class, you know? It's like, oh yeah, I love going to a job and spending all my energy and time working for somebody else's mostly profit, and then I have enough money to sort of just get by. You know, you sell your labor, you have enough money to get by and live. Letting politics get into it again. Of course, everything is kind of politics, you know, when you're encountering... First of all, I'm encountering a sort of dying zombie town. with a working class narrative, following working class people and their struggles, of course it's going to get kind of political from trying to interpret it. And I think that indeed the creators of the game definitely have that in mind. I'm at church now. Is my mother here? Am I going to talk to her again? I really want to find out what happened at college. Yeah. I'm not in the mood for a sermon today. I'm really curious. I really want to find out more. Alright, let's talk to Mom. I'm busy. Mom, why are you mean? Alright, she's mad. She's a person. Your parents aren't saints or anything like that. They're just people like you. Flawed and don't always have the best vision of things. Oh, breathe some fire already, dude. Howdy. You waiting for someone? Well, I think I'm being stood up. Date? Not the kind you mean. Honestly, a big part of my job is someone calling me heading out and him not showing up. You were meeting them at the statue of Saint Rubelo. Yeah, the fire-breathing guy who like ate people? That's a bit of an oversimplification. But yeah, basically. Cool guy to have a statue of. Outside the church, I mean. Well, I didn't put it here. But can't we learn something from Saint Rubelo? Breathe fire? Eat people? Sure. This statue is part of our Encourage Criminal Acts outreach. It's working. How's the situation? The situation? With Bruce and stuff. Hey, we wait and see. And pray. Alright. Pastor Carrie, anything new there? Transarm Youth Ministry. Transform. Oh, I thought it was just like transarm. It's transform. Makes a lot more sense. I wonder if Bruce is over here smoking again. You gonna go down to Harfest tonight? Yeah, another thing that was kind of like going around is that, you know, there's often this idea in sort of like the society that we live in, and if you're watching this in North America, you know, Canada or America, I'm Canadian, there's sort of this, it's more prevalent I think in America, but this idea that you can advance yourself personally wherever you start from. You can become like the richest person in the world, or like very well off from, you know, nothing, which, you know, there's nothing technically stopping you from doing that, but most people will just stay in the class that they're in, or they're born in, or they might do slightly better, and they might work to improve the lives of their children. So it's like a sort of a mobility, not personally, but by generation, which is kind of an internal contradiction to sort of that individualist message and idea that you can start from, you know, nothing and become extremely well off, which again is quite possible but very unlikely, like independent of how hard you work, because there's a lot more to like unpack if I was going to talk at length about that, and I'm not going to do it in the, you know, a let's play. But you know, there's we often talk about that individual mobility of starting somewhere and ending up somewhere else. But often the reality is that people are attempting a sort of generational mobility where their children are better off. It's like your children, you do well, you send your children to college, you know, you're blue collar, you send your children to college, they become white collar, they have children and they're better able to take their children. So the mobility of you working hard to improve the lives of your children is supposed to improve the lives of children later on. So the reality is that that's how people act, is in generational mobility, whereas the sort of myth that everybody follows is that we have individual mobility, which doesn't seem to really occur at any sort of great length, and even that generational mobility often doesn't occur because, you know, if you have your children and they get the jobs, you didn't send them to college. You know, we don't have free college here. You can hope for a scholarship or anything. There's a lot of. I mean, I'm not going to say that there's no options at all, but definitely there is. Everybody wants to not be working class. Like, who wants to be working class? It's just sort of something that you end up doing in order to support, you know, a family, especially if you have children. Like, what are you going to do? Risk everything on, like, creating a business? Spend all your money on creating a business? Risk, you know, the livelihoods of your family? Or, it's hard to start a business. Or do you want to, like, support your family and make sure that you have a paycheck so that you can continue to give your children and family health care and school supplies and clothes and all sort of that sort of stuff. Bills, and making sure that you can just actually enjoy your life rather than, like, living like some sort of Spartan existence where you save up enough money so that you could, and that would take years and years. So that's sort of like the problem with being working class. There's nothing really stopping you technically from moving forward, but there's a lot of, tacit, quiet sort of pressures that pressure you into just staying working class, which is not an enviable situation to just be selling, physical labor to somebody so that, they can use your physical labor to manage it to their profit. Anyway, that's enough of me talking about this. We're going to talk to Bruce now. And there's a lot of themes going on here. I'm just trying to interpret this as I go along. Are you going to go to Harvest Town tonight? He's probably not, man. Don't know, maybe. Keep to myself. You should say hi if you're there. I'll be there. Okay. We'll see, I suppose. Alright. Anyway, that's my sort of off-the-cuff interpretation of this game. Whoa. What are these people all about? I think that we're going to find out in the next episode of Night in the Woods. We're going to find out. Sorry for like talking. I'm just trying to like interpret this as I go along. Obviously I'm already sympathetic to the message of it, but other people might not be and might have a different perspective. So they can offer in the comments if you think so. I'm not actually very like firmly political about anything, even though I think you could probably tell where I end up, on the political spectrum. I'm not firmly like anything. I've read a lot of political philosophy. I have a bunch of things like swirling around in my head, but it's all just sort of made up to me, and it really boils down to sort of preferences. I'm not going to give away like all of my political sort of leanings in the political philosophy that I kind of like end up on, because I don't want to be like, if I tell you like, oh, I lean more towards like sort of a Hobbesian notion of natural rights or whatever. If I told you that, I don't want to be like hedged in with a certain sort of political philosophy, because I have a sort of syncretic understanding of politics, in a sense, and it's a lot more fluid, and I believe firmly in democracy, so I'm not going to come up with like a system that I want a bunch of people to follow, and like my system's the best system, because ultimately it has to be, I believe in democracy, so ultimately it has to be agreed upon by a certain amount of people, and if you end up with like that sort of firm notion of like what society and people have to be, the fact is that people aren't going to follow that. So you need sort of a lot of personal liberty, and not create like a system. You need to have democracy. You can't create a system that people have to follow, like the theoretical perfect system, and then try and force people to follow your system, because that is a huge problem that ends up causing so many problems. So definitely I'm pretty anti like coming up with a system and then pushing for that system without any sort of understanding that other people have to agree and alter that system, and it has to be agreed on. So there's no real point in creating like a perfect system for society, because you need to sort of work from from principles and ideas, and the actual details of that need to be sort of focused on and dialogue has to be had around those ideas and themes. So I really just sort of push for certain themes and stuff for in my own sort of political beliefs, instead of actual detailed plans for what society and people have to be, and how people operate, because ultimately it's up to the people to decide what sort of society they want. And even if my system would be perfect, it still has to be agreed upon, and people wouldn't agree with that. They wouldn't have the preference for that. So that's sort of the caveat to sort of what I've been saying. So I don't really have firm political beliefs besides some themes, right? Not details that I want to push and force other people to follow. Alright, so there you go. That's the end of that. This is just a talky episode. We're going to find out what these people are in the next episode. They got crystals, they got an eye on their t-shirt, they're creepy, they listen to weird music. I don't even see a music thingy. And I'll see you in the next episode when we play more Night in the Woods. Thank you for watching. I'm Dexter. Bye.